coming. Since when do you have to knock?
What are you talking about? You know what his name is, right?
I am the one who knocks.
Spit it out! I told you to get the axe. No one wants to hear your ideas, all right?
Give me a smile, baby. Why angry face?
Hello everyone and welcome to Geek Academy channel. I'm your detective host Igor, and today we are going to deep dive into Silo Season 2 Episode 9. I am super excited. This episode was like a Disneyland for me. So much information, so many interesting topics, so many things that I can laugh about, so many things that I can dive into and discover some interesting information for myself. I mean, the vault in the end where Solo was hiding his whole life, it was one of the best rooms I have ever seen on TV screen. And you can bet your sweet patootie that I'm gonna spend a lot of time in the end of this video discussing every little detail that we can find in this amazing freaking room. So much information, so many interesting moments. I mean, after the boredom of the last episode, this was like a manna from heaven. This was like a gift. I don't know, this was like Christmas in July even though we are in January. I don't know any more euphemisms to tell you how excited I am for this episode. It was freaking awesome. And before we begin, as usual, I want to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon, on YouTube. Your financial help is really what helps me survive right now, because in 2025 I left my job and all I do right now is those videos, and thanks to you I have seen the light in the end of the tunnel. And I want to welcome 3 new motivators: Venita Parsons, Miss Moonlight, and Brian Elise. Thank you so much and welcome to our small and amazing community. Now, if you are ready, let's dive in.
These facts should be very pleasing. Just relax your body and be open to the facts.
And we're gonna start with Walker's storyline. She cannot leave the room again because Bernard is blackmailing her and he doesn't trust her, so he cannot allow her to leave the room, otherwise she will be able to send a message or tell anybody about Bernard's and his blackmail. So she's lying about her once again not being able to leave the room. If you remember in season 1, she really wasn't able to do this because of her phobia or something, or some trauma that happened 25 years ago when she lost her ex-wife, because, you know, she wasn't able to do something. So we can see that the first time when Nox is visiting her and tells her that they're gonna try to take over the silo, this is logical, this is truth, okay? You're not gonna be able to do anything else, anything other than trying to take over the silo if you are one of the mechanicals. So, because once again, you are under siege, you are outnumbered, and you don't have enough people, and soon you're gonna lose the food that you have, okay? It's gonna be even more and more scarce, and now you don't have even medicine, so at some point you're gonna have to do something about it. And this is what they're planning to do, okay? But obviously, knowing Nox, they're probably not planning to go and start killing everybody. They probably want to do it the right way, without causing harm to other innocent people. So at this moment, I didn't have the eureka moment like Nox here, when he's talking about getting a message through the barricade, and he's like, oh my god, now I know who betrays us, who betrayed us. I don't know how his mind works in this situation. Maybe finally he understood that in a previous episode, when Walker was going to, you know, to the upper levels to fix some, I don't know, some toy machine or whatever, like some pump or something like this, it's not a really plausible story. So maybe she was lying, and that's why he has this eureka moment. But he knows that it's her. 100% he knows that it's her, because in this moment when she's asking him, by the way, since when do you have to knock? I mean, do you know what his name is? His name is Nox. He is the one who knocks. So anyway, moving forward, he's saying to her that he knows who is the traitor, and this is Teddy's mom. Teddy was one of the guys who was leading the operation in the previous episode, and it doesn't make sense. And look at Walker's look here, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Do you want to tell me that Teddy's mom basically told on him to save Teddy's life? This is how Nox actually shows Walker that he knows, and look at the way he looks at her. This is I know look. I mean, this is like, I don't know if they teach something like this in actors school, but if they do, if they have like a, today we're gonna study the I know look, this is what you should do. Train on this one, because it's like and he's telling her, once again, without spoiling, without like ruining her alibi in front of Bernard, because Nox is a smart guy, he understands there's probably some kind of a control, somebody's either listening or watching. He's telling her like, look, I know that Teddy's mom did this because she wanted to protect her son, so I'm not gonna punish her. But we're gonna start building bombs and use the, you know, the powder, blah blah blah. We're gonna blow everybody, we're gonna become terrorists and use some, like, I don't know, suicide vest or something like this. And Bernard is like, oh my god, I'm finally gonna have my moment. Those guys are gonna become terrorists, they're gonna start exploding people, and I'm gonna use it, I'm gonna prevent it, and finally my goal will be complete. Everybody's gonna be against the mechanical, even though it's like, it looks like almost everybody is there already. And it's obviously not what's gonna happen, it's this information, this is what Knox is telling, so people who are listening will hear that. This is not for Walker already, this is for Bernard. And I think we're gonna see some interesting moments in episode 10 after that. Also, we have a very weird moment here, like Billings, he's talking to Sims and he's like, yeah, your wife, she's basically helped those two fugitives, and then I understood that maybe somebody still wonders about, you know, the safety of the silo than anything else. I don't know why he became Italian in my mind. But anyway, if you think about it just a little bit, and I know we are the good guys, we're for the good against the bad, but still, if, you know, Camille wouldn't help them, so the mob would eventually catch Knox and Shirley, they would probably lynch them, and then the, you know, the rebellion would lose their main leaders. Probably a week after that there wouldn't be any rebellion. Yeah, that's it, so everything's back to order. Yeah, a lot of lies, still Bernard is on the rule and he's not a very good guy, but still, order, no more murders, no more fights, no more rebellion, nobody goes outside to die there too. I don't know, like, once again, you decide for yourself, what do you want? You want the truth and to die outside, or you want the lies and stay alive in the silo? This is your choice. Once again, I'm not saying that there is a right choice here, this is something you're gonna have to decide for yourself without blaming me on that. Here in this moment, I don't think even Tony Robbins can justify that level of self-confidence. I mean, like, Rob, if they're gonna win, you know, the rebellion, the people that hate your guts, you know, the people that basically scare their children with your name, they're gonna need somebody who's gonna rule here, and it's gonna be you. It could be you. Could it be though you? I mean, could it be Rob? Probably. I'm gonna put my money on it. If there is a list, like in Shirley's room or in Knox's room, where they're deciding who's gonna rule the silo, who are gonna be the leaders after we're gonna win, this is a big list, like hundreds and hundreds of names, thousands of names. In the end, it's written not Sims. They're not even considering, just in case anybody can think about Sims. So to prevent this stupid idea, they're gonna write there, not Sims, not Sims, no Sims. How did she come to the conclusion that one of the most hated people on this place, either than by some raiders, and obviously not all of them, can become a leader of a rebellion? Okay, anyway, but what is interesting here is that he's talking about the key. You remember the key from season 1 that Bernard was using? It's like, it's calling him to the server room and he gets some kind of an instruction there. Like, it was a time when the mayor was killed and then he come back and he was told that he needs to become the mayor. I love this information because once again it adds another layer to Bernard. He's not some guy, you know, that runs to get more power. He doesn't want that. He is the servant of the silo. He is the servant of the order, of the founders. He wants to preserve the things as they are with any means necessary. I'm not justifying him once again. All I'm saying is that I love when our antagonists are complex people and not just I'm evil because I'm bad, you know. Fuck those guys and fuck those writers. So write those guys, but this situation is making me super happy because I'm seeing her a TV show, a complex TV show with a lot of layers, with a lot of interesting characters, good and bad ones, and it's freaking awesome. Anyway, moving forward, since we started talking about Bernard, look at his conversation with Lucas, by the way. Like, think of him and how he treated Lucas in the beginning of the season. He was basically treating him like shit. even worse than that. Okay, and now they're talking almost like equals. When Lucas is telling him about 50 silos, he's saying basically no, it's 51. And when he's asking him like why another one, he's like, I don't know. They're talking on the same level. Even though Bernard knows more, he's not condescending, he's not angry, he's not lying to him, he's not manipulating him. When he asks about Juliet, he's saying him the truth. I was watching her through the screen on her helmet, and then she entered this silo and she's probably not alive anymore. He could have said anything. He could crush his hopes about Juliet, he could raise his hopes about Juliet, whatever serves his goals better, but he's just honest with him. And once again, I'm not saying he's a good guy, I'm saying that his motivations is very clear and I like it. They're explainable, they are believable, they're real. There are a lot of people like that will do whatever it takes to serve their country, to protect the order, to like, you know, like we usually enjoy in a lot of TV shows when the good guy, he's gonna torture the bad terrorist, he's gonna like rip his teeth and he like kill him, whatever is needed to get the information to save other people. Yeah, like we enjoy it because this is the good thing, this is the good deed to save more people in this situation. But once again, if you try to look at it through completely black and white lens, it's not a very good thing to torture people. Anyway, whoever they are, especially if there's a chance that maybe someone who you are torturing is maybe even innocent in this situation, and maybe you get wrong information or wrong intel about this person. So yeah, there's a lot of nuances in the real life, and I love to see them in this TV show. So, and he's obviously not above lying. We've seen Bernard lying many times, and in this episode he did it once again to the whole sheriff's department about, you know, Paul Billings trying to join Al-Qaeda and starting to blow up things in the silo. So here, just some beautiful books, you know, the English dictionary here, and here in this moment, like in the corner, I thought it's a painting, but it's actually some kind of like a tablet, or once again a big screen that changes, so once again creating an atmosphere for you to study and learn new things, and just small detail that I really enjoy. And the code. The last time I talked about it, I apologize to everybody on the Reddit, and now it's time to give them even more props, and let's read what they discovered. So this is the full message. By the way, you've been warned. If you don't want to see it because it wasn't shown in that way in the episode, please skip a couple of minutes forward. So let's read it together. If you've gotten this far, you already know the game is rigged. We think we're the chosen ones, but we're the only one of many. The founders didn't build a single silo, they built 50, and they created a safeguard. We have been lied to. We are not safe. Our home is not a sanctuary but a trap. The fate of the silo is determined by another. One, it's important, with the power to kill everyone here in an instant. Reason be damned. If you don't believe me, go to the very bottom of the silo, find the tunnel, and you will get confirmation there. One, does it mean it has to be a person? Probably not. One, probably this is the same voice that Lucas Kyle is gonna hear in the end. Maybe it's the same voice that was talking to Bernard about the Delta event or whatever. Another interesting thing here is the safeguard. I wish there was a safeguard in YouTube against YouTubers who put the thumbnail with the title Safeguard Explained. Like all of my feed in YouTube right now, Safeguard Explained. I watched like 2 videos, and like after 2 minutes of the videos, by the way, nobody knows what the fuck is safeguard, so why would you put this in the title? Be honest with your audience, guys, come on, this is like basic stuff. This is just pissing me off. I mean, why would you do that? I mean, and why would people keep giving the same respect to those YouTubers for lying to them? This just pisses me off. Anyway, what is safeguard? Probably it's something that's gonna kill people. What else can it be? It has to be a switch off. It has to be something that can be done instantly. Not like the memory drugs that Bernard was talking about in the previous episode, that can take sometimes weeks or even like months for everybody to, you know, reboot and restart the silo with new people. I don't know how exactly it works. It's not like it's Severance and you create a new people exactly like with the same basic information but with a completely new personality. But it has to be the safeguard. Once again, the power, one with the power to kill everyone here in an instant. So this is probably how this safeguard works. It's probably gonna, I don't know, maybe create a vacuum here in this place and people will just choke immediately, or open everything and all of the poison or whatever actually kills people on the outside is gonna be inside the silo simultaneous. I don't know what it is, but it has to be able to kill everybody. So we move into this moment, and I don't know about you, I don't know about your relationship with your mom, but if my mom would get a message that I was being sent to the mines to die there basically, and like a couple of days later I would just be shown up at her place, she wouldn't be like, hey, by the way, Igor, where have you been? I would probably be pushed into the wall from this person that would start hugging me and would never release me anymore in my life. So this whole dynamic here, it didn't feel like mother and son. This is just me complaining, okay, because it felt weird, okay, not weird like she, you know, like putting salt and pepper, you know, pretending to be like one of those chefs that do this movement here on the body of the deceased here, but still very weird. Let me know what you thought about this moment, because it kind of felt like she doesn't really like him too much. She's like, oh, son, you're back from the mines again. Oh, you now again with your finding the truth and so on. So yeah, Lucas goes to the lowest level, he finds the tunnel, and he is being talked to by this AI voice. And it's actually not AI voice, especially right now we have this ability to distinguish AI voices pretty easily. Actually, I get a lot of comments like, thank you so much for not using some stupid AI voice, and I had this idea in the beginning of this channel because, as you can hear, this is not a native American accent, okay? I have an accent, obviously English is my third language, and I was not sure if this is something that people are gonna enjoy hearing, you know, the accent can be sometimes annoying. But actually people want to hear right now real human voices, because there are a lot of AI voices right now, and even though the technology is pretty advanced, we can always hear that this is an AI. It's way too perfect. There are not enough colors in this voice, there are not enough mistakes, okay, something that only humans can still make. AI doesn't make that. And why am I saying this to you? Because if you're gonna listen to this voice that talked to Lucas Kyle, this is a human voice. Okay, this is, even though they added those metallic sounds and it sounds a little bit robotic, this is a person talking, and the person doesn't trying to be sounding like a robot here in this situation. You can hear the colors that you can hear only in human voice. I'm not sure it was intended that way, so they are basically, you know, so we will be misled and thinking that this is a robot and actually this is a human being here sitting. Probably it's not like somebody sitting there for like 140 years, you know, waiting. Maybe somebody's gonna enter, so I'm gonna show myself how scary I am. But it kind of reminded me a little bit, you know, the whole Wizard of Oz situation, when there is a scary voice, you know, metallic, powerful voice from the background talking to you, just like in the book by Judge Meadows. But actually he is fake, he is absolutely fake, he doesn't have any power. I think this is a connection here, and maybe this is something we're gonna see in the next episode, or maybe even in season 3 and 4. Also, we learned that he talked to Judge Meadows, he talked to the vampire guy, Salvador Quinn, but he didn't talk to George Wilkins. Why? Because George Wilkins is not qualified. He's not an IT head, he's not an IT head shadow. So this is why he's talking to Lucas, he talked to Meadows, and he talked to Salvador Quinn, and he didn't talk to George Wilkins. I think it's important because we're gonna talk about this a little bit later. So here he also tells him that he's gonna get a directive. Because of this directive, as we know, Judge Meadows became a Russian alcoholic for 25 years, and, you know, maybe some other people became a little bit insane, like Salvador Quinn. So whatever this directive is gonna be, Lucas is not gonna be able to disobey, because otherwise the safeguard is gonna be initiated and everybody's gonna die. Once again, probably one of the reasons why Judge Meadows and Salvador Quinn didn't really know how to cope too much with this new information. So we are moving to the main line, and finally this TV show remembered who is the hero, who is the protagonist. Juliette Nichols, you remember this one, you know, you actually hired a very popular actress to play her. Finally, we're gonna see a lot of her. And the first scene of this episode was very exciting. We saw all of the events of this season through the POV of those Last of the Magican kids, the Lord of the Fly kids. So we've seen that the crazy bee girl, she was the one to cut the rope. We've seen that this no balls guy, he was the one to save Juliet actually. And we even started to get some glimpses of their life there, like their community. First of all, the first question that needs to be answered, do they have water? Yeah, they do. But do they have enough food? I mean, they don't look starving, okay? It's not like they completely obese or something like that. They're not eating 75 hamburgers in a day, but they're not starving. They're full with, you know, the color of the skin. We don't see their cheekbones too much. They're pretty much eating very good. Where's the food is coming from? Have no idea. But I love those small moments. Like we can see the prints of children's hands there. Like this is the history. We can see some human history in just one small moment. Like this is a small one, this is a bigger one, and even a bigger one, we can see how the kid was growing and leaving the print of his hand. And once again, this is life, and the people that create those small moments, they are creating this TV show, they are making it alive. This is not just a story, this is an alive world, and it becomes alive for 1 hour every week for us, thanks to those people that usually stay unrecognized. And here in this moment you can actually observe that when they're preparing for the battle, it's obviously something that they have been doing many times. This is not the first time they're preparing to fight, so the way they put the armor, the way they put, you know, the chain around it feels like, you know, I've done this before. It's not the first time I'm doing this. This is the cutest hat I have ever seen in my life, and also we can see that they have food. They even can allow themselves to live a little bit. So once again, they're not starving, but where is the food coming from? No idea. So they also have names. So, you know, Sola is the killer, you know, this girl, this one, she's the eater, this one is, those two have normal names, but for some reason nobody gave them a nickname. I did it for myself. This one is a crazy bee, and this one, as I told you, the no bald guy. So here in this moment, this girl's telling us that her mom is actually gave her one name, just one name, no last name. It's weird, right? Anyway, not that much, because we discovered that Rick is the no balls guy, and his mom was Tess. And his mom Tess had also a husband probably, who was Rick's dad. And Chase there was Audrey's dad. And Chase probably had a wife too, but then Chase's wife died, and then Tess's husband died, and Tess and Chase were like, I mean, it's meant to be. I mean, Romeo and Juliet, you know, reincarnated. It kind of make Rick and Audrey stepbrothers, right? I kind of feel I have seen this movie.
Shame! Shame!
So this is Tess and Chase after they F around with Solo and found out, and here we also discovered, like, once again they gave the birth to Benny, and she's telling Juliet that when her mom got sick, she brought me to them. So it kind of makes us understand that there was a community. It's not like it was two couples that were, you know, staying in this place, and then they were like, you know, those people died. Let's fuck. Her mom was also there, but her father is never mentioned. So was there a community or no? Or was there just two couples and her mom? Anyway, like, this is after the rebellion. Her mom, she didn't even remember the rebellion. She was a small baby. So it was, I mean, 30, 35, 40 years ago, something like this, because this girl, she's like 16, 17, so let's say her mom was 20, even 18, okay? It's already almost like, what, 16 plus 18, this is 34 years, so it was enough time. Okay, and this is the moment when you can notice that she's wearing something around her neck, and I think this is something that was left to her from her mom. And I think that this girl still has some kind of a belief, or maybe, I don't know, hope, to find more people. Obviously, living with those two is not possible. The crazy big girl is obnoxious as hell. She's abusing her, she's toxic, she's horrible. Absolutely not livable together, so she obviously desperate to escape. And in this moment, when she notices, you know, the bracelet, she understands why it can be important for Rick, so she takes it to him. And let's talk a little bit about Sola. We discovered that Russell's last name was Conroy, and we can see that in the schoolroom there was a kid named Conroy. His last name is Conroy, his first name is Jimmy, and this is obviously Sola. Finally, Juliet gets to this conclusion, and we discover a very interesting story. Those two parents actually were able to enter Solo's vault, and when Solo was sleeping, they, as you usually do if you're a normal person, you take a weapon and you shoot the person who's asleep. Fortunately, they weren't able to kill him, so he was able to lock them in the room, in the food vault, where they basically, you know, died with oxygen starvation. So yeah, I don't think anybody can be called the saint in this situation, but their parents obviously not the best ones of the people here. But you know, when you want to protect your children, there's absolutely nothing you will not gonna be able to do, as I told you in the previous video. And I think if you're a parent, you will agree with me here. Here in this moment, we're finally getting a glimpse and understanding why Solo was screaming like a maniac at Juliet in, I don't know, in one of the previous episodes. I don't remember, I think it was episode 6 or 7, because he is so blocking the memory of his father being murdered in front of his eyes because of his cowardice, as he thinks. He doesn't want to be Jimmy, he doesn't want to be associated with Jimmy. This is a way for him to psychologically survive. This is why he wants to be Solo, because Jimmy was a coward that got his father killed, got himself so traumatized that this is why he has this, even probably, I cannot really say it, but close to split personality. He still obviously knows somewhere that he is Jimmy, but he doesn't want to be Jimmy. He really doesn't want to be. And I think it's a devastating and very sad story. So if you can see here, like when the sheriff shoots Russell, my first initial response was like, why would you do that? You lose everything here in this situation. You kill a kid's father in front of his eyes. This is like, I don't know, this is like ISIS level of crazy. And then like you don't have any more leverage also on him, so you're definitely not gonna get inside as well. And like, this is, by the way, like terrifying, very sad situation, tragic. I felt him very emotional at some of the moments. I wasn't crying, didn't have any tears. Sometimes I do in the movies and TV shows, but yeah, it was a sad moment. I felt his pain, and yeah, once again, great job by the actors and creators. And if you remember episode 1, finally we get an explanation to this monologue when he's talking to his wife. He said, my hand slipped. I didn't mean to. He didn't want to shoot Russell. Something in the situation, in the heat of the moment, whatever, slipped. I don't know what happened, but it's not like it was his goal. He's obviously not, you know, horrible person. He did a very, very horrible thing, but he's not a horrible person. And then he's asking why would he open the door? Because he was told not to by his father. And you do what your father tells you to do, especially when you're 12. If you're listening to me right now and you're 12, do what your father tells you to do. Or if he says to you to do something stupid, don't do it. And another question that we still don't have an answer for is when he's asking, do you think that Russell was lying? What Russell was telling him? Maybe Russell was the one to tell him that it's good, beautiful and green outside, but since Russell was against the rebellion, I don't see how it's working together. So yeah, Juliet tells him another beautiful moment, like once again, Solo, even though he's a freaking genius, as we understand from this episode, he is still a kid. And psychologically he's developed like a kid, and he needed a grown-up to tell him like the reason his father told him not to open the vault is not to protect the vault, is to protect him. And it was a beautiful moment, it was done beautifully. Hats off, thank you so much, awesome TV show, greatest episode of this season. I mean, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, whatever you want to call it. So at this moment, whoo, boys and girls, oh my god, I felt like a kid who got like his dad's credit card and was sent to candy shop to buy whatever you want, because look at this beauty, look at the amount of artifacts, at the writings, at the, I don't know, articles. Oh my god, so much information in one shot for crazy people like me that love to take every possible screenshot and examine every little detail, every little pixel, and I did it, and we're gonna talk about it. So this is one of, oh my god, beautiful. Look at Juliet, this was me, please. The creators of the show, don't destroy it, turn it into a room, charge us, I will pay you the money, you take all the money. I just want to be there, I just want to be in this room for 1 hour. This is better than any museum I have ever attended. This is not only people's history, human history, this is also a history of one human being who lived there for a couple of years, and it's freaking amazing. Anyway, beautiful room, but this is all just a corridor, the beauty is here. Oh my god, I think this is the best room I have ever seen on TV screen. I don't even know if there is a category like that. The best rooms in TV. but if there is, this one is gonna have the least. Anyway, let's see what we can examine here. First of all, we have biology. We have him examining cells and learning music. So if you're gonna see, by the way, on Apple TV, like this is the image of the evolution, as familiar to everybody. I don't know who haven't seen this image, but as you can see, it's pretty blurry. But if you're gonna go to Apple TV, they have a bonus material where the actor who plays Solo, he's basically showing for 3 minutes this room. And it's freaking amazing. You should definitely check this out. It's absolutely awesome. And there I was able to take some screenshots with my iPhone. So just look at this beauty. Look at the amount of artifacts, amount of information. We have here African culture, European culture. We have some amazing carpets. Absolutely astonishing. And we can actually examine some of the images in a way better quality. We can see that he was studying evolution. Like not, you know, a little bit, everything, the years he was writing himself, some notes, he covered something like this is us, we are the Homo sapiens, the Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalus, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, English is not my main language. And then he's like the question me, which I think is funny. Also, he was studying DNA. We can see here deoxyribonucleic acid. I'm 100% sure I pronounced it correctly. And we can see here Solo or somebody else entirely was drawing some kind of, I don't know, like a caricatures of different types of cultures, different types of people, once again from human history. Or we can see that he was studying birds, and not just birds, he was studying flying. And look at what the people that were making this room, I mean, how much fun they had while they were creating this. Look at all of those articles. They didn't just put them on the wall, they were writing notes. They would put in something in circles, like this is the important ones. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. I'm having so much fun right now. I hope you can see it on my face right now, how much fun am I having analyzing those things. Like look, the air balloon, some kind of a wings. He was actually not just studying birds, he was fascinated with the way the whole flying process works. I mean, think for somebody who was born under the, in the silo, under the earth, never even seen sunlight, and then he discovers that birds can fly, and not only birds, people can fly too, thanks to some interesting inventions, like you right here, like wings with carpet, airfoil, slope, or something like this. He was actually fascinated by it. So it tells us that, you know, he wasn't just reading some books, he was having phases, just like the actor said here in this bonus material. He imagines that Solo had a phase, like this year I'm gonna study biology, and then I'm gonna do some origami, and then I'm gonna master the guitar, and like he was living in this world for decades. So obviously he mastered a lot of information. You remember this meme with the most interesting person in Earth, like it was popular a couple of years ago? Yeah, I'm freaking old. This is really the most interesting person on Earth. There is no topic you will start and he will not be able to join in. So here he was studying music. We can see like once again some notes, tempo, beats, meter, something like shards, beats, something, roll, blah blah blah. So once again some images, the structures of violin and guitars. Once again in the bonus materials he was learning how to play the trumpet. He learned a lot of musical instruments. He had the origami phase when he was making a lot of origami on the wall. Like once again, it probably took him a couple of years to master that. He was talking about ferrooxalate complex, whatever this means. I have no idea what the hell is this. I just uploaded this image to ChatGPT and it told me, but once again, it's some kind of a difficult level of chemistry, physics, whatever it is. EMC square, obviously, even I know that. This is Einstein's theory of relativity and a lot of other formulas here. Fourier transform, as far as Wikipedia suggested, it's some kind of a mathematical formula, some kind of helper or something like this. Once again, it's a high mathematics here. So this guy is a freaking genius, as I told you before. And he's also studying chemistry, and not only studying, those are chemistry formulas by the way, he is making experiments. Look at his laboratory, it looks like something from a freaking movie. He even have like the whole periodic table in front of his eyes to remind him what to do and what to add and what to create. So here we also have, like, he's talking about drums, but we can look at the drawings. Some of the drawings are more popular, like this one obviously have a name, I forgot it, I googled it. I'm gonna put it somewhere in the video. But what I'll enjoy more here is the drawings by Solo himself. Like, look at this wall here. Compare it to the vault we have seen in Silo 18, which was also very interesting for me, but you cannot compare with the amount of details and human history that you can see here in Silo 17. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So we can see he has his horse's face, and he learned everything about the horses, and we can see some formulas on the door here, and he was studying about sports, about soccer, or you call it football. Actually, you know, like my American audience, this is called football. If you kick it with your foot, it's called football. Anyway, we have like tennis here, and we have boxing, and we have some notes that somehow talk about time and, you know, like equation of time. So this guy was covering absolutely everything, and he was even playing chess with himself. So he is basically, you know, like knows everything, and there's not even one topic in the history of humanity that he's not gonna be able to join in. Also, we can see here that there are some silo books here, not only the history of humanity before the whatever apocalyptic event happened here, but also after, and we can see here some, you know, like bookmarks there in the middle of this book. So Solo was reading those too. Also, we can see that he was learning about human psychology. We can see the book here, Origins of the Mind. Once again, a lot of chemistry formulas, interesting, absolutely amazing brushes that look absolutely incredible. I don't know what this culture is. Maybe it's somehow connected to African culture, like this in the bonus material. You know, the actor is talking about like he had his African culture phase, and this is why we see a lot of artifacts here from African culture. And he was also studying human biology to the detail. He's not studying like you have heart and you have liver and whatever. He is like, yeah, today we're gonna learn about the ear, and we're gonna learn everything about the ear. So once again, how much detail and how much thought, how much effort and soul was put in creating this amazingly beautiful room, the best room in television. And if you remember this clock, if it looks familiar to you, it is actually familiar. We have seen it in Silo 18 in the room where Lucas Kyle is working right now, which is freaking nice, and it kind of means like maybe not all of the artifacts are unique. Some of them maybe, you know, were like copy pasted to every silo there to, you know, to preserve the culture and not just, you know, the unique painting or something like this. But if you look at this painting, I think it's not just there to, you know, once again, about the birdies, which very interesting. If you look at the drawing, it kind of reminds me the whole situation of the silo, you know, with the looking at the hill with the tree. We can see here like the hill, and there is somebody who's walking up the hill, and there is a tree there that is covering and blocking his view side, and there are even some calculation like what is the length of the tree, what is the height of the tree supposed to be, what is the height of the person supposed to be, and how you need to make it so, you know, people will not gonna be able to see what is over the horizon. Maybe this image was used as an inspiration or even as an instruction to create, you know, the vision that everybody sees in the dining room. So yeah, just a beautiful moment here when, like, this is an awe moment when Solo realizes why Juliet didn't leave. And look at this shot. This is an absolutely beautiful shot. I mean, it's so real, it feels so authentic. I mean, once again, we can see this big bearded dude, but we can see that he is a kid in his soul. And learning that after so many years, so many fucking years, he finally have a friend. Think about how much does it mean to him. This is insane. This is the first person who experienced such a traumatic event, seeing his father being murdered in front of his eyes while he was 12, and then being locked by himself for decades and decades, never trusting any other person because, once again, his father was killed in front of his eyes, and then suddenly he realizes that he has a friend. Even I felt happy in this moment, and I hope you did too, because Solo deserves it. So Juliet finds the other suit. She now has two, and she also have this girl she wants to come with her. Are we gonna see in the next episode that Juliet with her are gonna come back to silo number 18? I was always curious how Juliet is gonna do it. She's just gonna come over and gonna knock on the door. Hey guys, I'm back, you know, what's for dinner? or maybe she's gonna send this one and it's gonna even blow even more everybody's mind. Or once again, it's just gonna come together. Anyway, whatever's gonna happen, I'm all for it. If they're gonna keep the same level of excitement, of the amount of details, of interesting revelations, of amazing acting like they did in episode 9, I think we're gonna get one of the best episodes of television this year, definitely. And we're gonna start 2025 on a very strong note, and hopefully gonna, you know, go to the hiatus until season 3 with a good feeling and not with a disappointed feeling like sometimes it can happen. And you know, season 2 had its slower moments, some bad moments if you can call them that way, so hopefully they will be able to finish on a very high note. And I hope that you enjoy this video and you're gonna support it in any way or shape or form that feels natural and comfortable to you, which for me the best way you can support this channel is watch my videos and enjoy them. Everything else, the comments, the likes, the Patreons, the YouTube donations, everything else is hugely appreciated, it's very helping right now, especially when I quit my job and I'm all in on YouTube on 2025. Everything helps, it's very appreciated once again, but it's also a bonus. It's a bonus, it's not something, it's not the main goal of those videos. The main goal is for you to watch them and enjoy them, and I hope I'm gonna see you on the next one, and I hope we're gonna enjoy it together. And meanwhile, bye.